Hey there everybody, welcome to the website. I hope you're enjoying being a member, and if you're not a member, I hope you will consider checking it out. And you can get first crack at viewing stuff like this. So here we've got the greatest woman player of the day, Yani Tseng, who really is separating herself from the rest of the women. She's got 5 majors under her belt at the age of 22. Certainly the greatest record ever compiled by anyone that young, of any age or of any sex. So anyway, let's take a look at the swing. It's very interesting. I promise you that I don't just pick these swings out because they do stuff that I always talk about, but we'll talk about the swing and we'll take a look at what she's doing, and I think what you'll see is that a lot of the stuff that she does is stuff that we talk about here on the website when it comes to compression, the compression golf swing, and also the right arm movement that been focusing on recently. So a couple things we'll notice right away. Her setup is a little different than, say, if you go back to Hogan. Most of the setups that I like and what I teach would be to have less knee flex and to have less space between the edge of the butt and the shoes. She seems to be sitting back, but she's pretty strong, so it doesn't really look like her weight is tipped back in the heels. Looks like she can support that with a lot of pitch over from the waist. Most of the time when you see someone set up like this, sitting back a little bit, they will not finish in the box like somebody who's more on the balls of the feet and up more erect and leaned out over the ball. So that doesn't really mean that much. That's just a conjecture, because that's just what happens. She's not going to really, she can't get as deep as she would need to stay in the box, because she's already so far back there that she would probably lose her balance. So as we watch the swing go, and the camera angle is not great because it's a little high, but we'll draw some lines anyway. So you can see her butt did a good job of staying right on the line. Her right knee stays on the line, her left knee pops a little forward, so in my lexicon that would be a little asymmetrical in the leg movement. Now she comes down, she does a great job. Look at the knees even up there. So the left knee is really retracting and the right's really not going forward very much. But you'll see here she's a little bit out of the box on that left side. Again, in this case, not such a big deal. Plus the camera's moving a little bit there, so I don't think it's even quite that much. Now she's got pretty low hands at address, plus the camera's high, so the hands are going to come in high, but they probably miss the shaft plane a little bit anyway. If she had set up with the club up at her belly button, you could see there that she would be a little closer to the shaft plane on the way down. So that's something to consider when you're drawing lines. Now, so here's the two really interesting things about her swing. One of them is the huge amount of compression that she uses in the backswing. Look at that. From even a flexed position there, she really works downward. I mean, I wouldn't even call that a hip turn. So I would call it more of an angled movement. Now this is the best I could do anyway right now for a front-on view. It's not really front-on, but again, if you take a look, it really looks like the waist is just pushing back and not twisting. So I'd like to teach that it requires a lot of trunk mobility, but it's not really a restricted hip movement, so to speak. It's just more of a type of angled movement where the right would go back and in, pulling the belt buckle and the left hip with it. So everything is deepening going back. And when that happens, those muscles up in the low and mid back really crank up nicely and get ready for an excellent transition. So those shots she whacked out of the rough. So we catch it before the camera moves here. Let's check out her lateral movement. So we'll just mark that hip there. I'll take a watch. Now that's a la Hogan there. I mean, there's a ton of push. And in the impact area, she's really coming up. That's a la Tiger. So she really snaps it up. Well, she's pretty hunkered over here. Let's take a full view of this one. This is a cool looking swing here. Hands push down even lower as she goes back, and the club face stays a little on the closed side, but she rotates the face very nicely. Now, here's where it gets pretty cool. Club would appear to be directly on the plane right now. As she gets into transition, watch what happens now. Look at the hands. So that's the move that I've been talking about, where everything is rotating and the legs are pushing and rotating. Now in her case, when you watch her, she has a pronounced forwardness to it. But you see that left leg retract. So the way I look at it, I see that the top rotating around immediately back this way. Everything going this way, except for, of course, the hands. So let's dot this grip here. So we'll call that the top. We'll call it a slightly laid off position. So there's the grip. Here's the elbow. And we'll draw the forearm angle here. Now, let's see what happens in transition. Whoops. So, look at that. I mean, it really almost goes sideways. The club was going up, angled here, and now it's pretty much pointed out into Never Never Land out there. So you see that motion, the left arm is staying up. It's not pulling down. The hands are doing anything but dropping. They're not dropping. Here are the hands, right? Look at the angle of the hand movement. I mean, it's literally this way. It's above the ball by a bunch. The shaft gets super flat, and then it spends the rest of the time steepening. And when you watch this thing at regular speed, I mean, she just rips the thing. So the red line is the direction of the hand movement from the top. And if we watch the arm, you'll see that the forearm stays pretty neutral, but that upper arm really comes right into the side. So this is something you don't really see with a lot of women. First of all, you don't see the use of the ground. So watch the lowering here. Now, most guys who do this will lower again in the forward swing. She actually doesn't. She really moves sideways a little bit and then elevates into the shot. But she starts so low that I think that by the time she gets that compressed, she's about done with she's about done with compressing. There is not much more you can do. If she stood up more erect and lost some of that knee flex, she would probably go down twice. But I don't know if that would be a benefit or not. So I had interesting swing. It's a good shot. Just kind of practicing. Now, let's watch the movement from, it's kind of a transition stop and go, because she'll stop and then she'll go backwards and sort of get into the swing. And what you're going to see is a lot of the stuff that really happens with a normal swing. So here's but this is nice and clear so we can watch the shaft progression. So again, if we take a look, the hands go from there to here. So the initial hand path is way out there. You can see that. So for those of you who think that any hand movement outward is over the top, this should at least correct your view of over the top, because if you can be the best player in the world, going over the top might be a good idea. So anyway, so let's take a look at the shaft. So well flat of the plane. Now, this is the interesting part. Now, you may have seen this before if you watched the Hogan video. You pretty much see the exact same thing. Anytime you're doing the exact same thing as Hogan, you're probably doing pretty good. So isn't that cool? Up, hands go out, body begins to rotate, the left arm stays high, right arm comes in, shaft flattens just initially, just the first thing, and then steep, 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 steep. So again, the beauty of this is that the shaft is dragging back, the arms are wedged into the body now, they're hooked. Body is rotating. This is where you can literally hit the ball as hard as you want to, and she really looks like she does. She just rips it. Because when the shaft is steepening, in order to keep it from getting stuck behind, everything is going to exit fully left and rotate hard. And you can see that when the club goes through the ball like this, the face does not flip over very fast. It just flips over at a nice rate. Not flips over, but releases. Beautiful exit. Nice. So, let's see, I had a nice driver shot here, which is just killing, trying to find it. Let's take a look at this one. I mean, you can see that everything recoiling. It's hitting her in the back when she's done. So, great sort of coiling up, build up of power. Definitely not a slow swing. The takeaway drags a little bit right off the first foot or so, but after that the thing really picks up pace and she bends that shaft. Just gotta love that. It's a pretty cool looking swing. There's another view from the front side. Here you can really see that lateral push. Alright, and if we take a look again at that move and we compare it to the great man, Mr. Hogan, let's take a look. I needed to do this. Draw this up. Here we go. That and that. All right. Thanks for watching.